everybody just a second to file in and settle down. Feels like a Teams or a company Zoom meeting. We'll give everybody a second to dial in. Sorry, I'm double muted. Never mind. Welcome, everybody. All right. Good. Thank you. My name is Richard Fennell. I am the worship associate this morning. I will be guiding you on this adventure. I'm part of the team that all works together to bring this service to you here and online, a very skilled and good-looking team of people. We are an inclusive congregation. We welcome you neither because of nor despite of who you are. We welcome you because you're cool and you came to be part of something good, and we dig that. With all your complexities, all your situations, we welcome your whole self, even if it isn't fully assembled. We're all a work in progress. We're all in this together. So look upon each other as family, because that's what we are. The service is being posted on our YouTube channel and Facebook so that you can live stream it while it's happening or catch it again later and watch it over and over because it's riveting. And so now that we've all settled back in, let's go ahead, get back up and say hello to each other. Yeah. All right, y'all settle down now. All right, everybody, if you'll remain standing in body or spirit, and follow me in our opening affirmation. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship, for these high purposes do we unite in worship. All right, everybody may be seated if you want. All right. Now we're going to light our chalice. That's an important part of our service. It's a flame to light our path. And when we light the chalice, we pray that its light will guide us, because that's literally light's only job. And if it can't do that, well. But may the fire consume and cast a bright light. May the chalice flame consume our regrets for the past, our fears about the future, and our worries about today. May it light for us a path of joy and peace. I have this irrational fear that I'm going to screw that up one day, and I'm always really nervous when I go and do it. Okay, so now it is time for a story of all ages, which will be shared by Vicki Schoen.
I asked Chuck to give me some suggestions for readings this morning, and he gave me some general concepts, one of which was community, and the best community I could think of was the 100-acre wood. So I'm going to read a portion of one of the stories from the house at Pooh Corner. We start with Pooh and Piglet have been walking around in the snow singing snow songs, punctuated by lots of tiddly-poms. I've been thinking, said Pooh. They've stopped for a rest. And what I've been thinking is this. I've been thinking about Eeyore. What about Eeyore? Well, poor Eeyore has nowhere to live. Nor he has, said Piglet. You have a house, Piglet, and I have a house, and they're very good houses. And Christopher Robin has a house, and Al and Kanga and Rabbit have houses, and even Rabbit's friends and relations have houses or somethings. But poor Eeyore has nothing. So what I've been thinking is, let's build him a house. That, said Piglet, is a grand idea. Where shall we build it? We will build it here, said Pooh, just by this wood out of the wind, because this is where I thought of it. And we will call this Pooh Corner, and we will build an Eeyore house with sticks at Pooh Corner for Eeyore. There was a heap of sticks on the other side of the wood, said Piglet. I saw them, lots and lots, all piled up. Thank you, Piglet, said Pooh. What you have just said will be a great help to us, and because of it, I could call this place Pooh and Piglet Corner, if Pooh Corner didn't sound better, which it does. Come along. So they got down off the gate and went around to the other side of the wood to fetch the sticks. Christopher Robin had spent the morning indoors going to Africa and back, and he had just got off the boat and was wondering what it was like outside, but who should come knocking at the door but Eeyore. Hello, Eeyore, said Christopher Robin as he opened the door and came out. How are you? It's still snowing, said Eeyore gloomily. So it is. And freezing. Is it? Yes, said Eeyore. However, he brightened up a little. We haven't had an earthquake lately. What's the matter, Eeyore? Nothing. Christopher Robin, nothing important. I suppose you haven't seen a house or whatnot anywhere about. What sort of house? Just a house. Who lives there? I do. At least I thought I did, but I suppose I don't. After all, we can't all have houses. But Eeyore, I didn't know. I always thought, I don't know how it is, Christopher Robin. But what with all this snow and one thing and another, not to mention icicles and such, it isn't so hot in my field about 3 o'clock in the morning as some people might think. In fact, Christopher Robin, he went on in a loud whisper, quite between ourselves and don't tell anybody, it's cold. Oh, Eeyore. And I said to myself, the others will be sorry if I'm getting myself all cold. They haven't got brains, any of them, only gray fluff that's blown into their heads by mistake. And they don't think. But if it goes on snowing for another 6 weeks or so, one of them will begin to say to himself, Eeyore can't be so very much too hot about 3 o'clock in the morning. And then it will get about and they will be sorry. Oh, Eeyore, said Christopher Robin, feeling very sorry already. I don't mean you, Christopher Robin. You're different. So what it all comes down to is that I built myself a house down by my little wood. Did you really? How exciting. The really exciting part, said Eeyore in his most melancholy voice, is that when I left this morning it was there, and when I went back it wasn't. Not at all very natural, and it was only Eeyore's house, but still I wondered. Christopher Robin didn't stop to wonder. He was already back in his house, putting on his waterproof hat and his waterproof boots and his waterproof Macintosh as fast as he could. We'll go back and look for it at once, he called out to Eeyore. Sometimes, said Eeyore, when people have quite finished taking a person's house, there are one or two bits which they don't want and are rather glad for the person to take back, if you know what I mean. So I thought if we just went, come on, said Christopher Robin, and off they hurried. And in a very little time they got to the corner of the field by the side of the pine wood where Eeyore's house wasn't any longer. There, said Eeyore, not a stick of it left. Of course, I've still got all this snow to do what with that I like. One mustn't complain. But Christopher Robin wasn't listening to Eeyore, he was listening to something else. Can you hear it? He asked. What is it, somebody laughing? Listen. They both listened, and they heard a deep, gruff voice saying in a singing voice that the more it snowed and more it went on snowing, and a small high voice tiddly-palming in between. It's Pooh, said Christopher Robin. Possibly, said Eeyore. And Piglet. Probably, said Eeyore. What we want is a trained bloodhound. The words of the song changed suddenly. We finished our house, sang the gruff voice. Tiddly-pom, sang the squeaky one. It's a beautiful house. Tiddly-pom, I wish it were mine. Tiddly-pom. Pooh, shouted Christopher Robin. The singers stopped suddenly. It's Christopher Robin, said Pooh. He's round by the place where we got all those sticks from, said Piglet. Come on, said Pooh. They climbed down and hurried round the corner of the wood, Pooh making welcoming noises all the way. Why, there is Eeyore, said Pooh, when he had finished hugging Christopher Robin, and he nudged Piglet, and Piglet nudged him, and they thought to themselves what a lovely surprise they had got ready. Hello, Eeyore. Same to you, Pooh Bear, and twice on Thursdays, said Eeyore gloomily. Before Pooh could say, why Thursdays, Christopher Robin began to explain the sad story of Eeyore's lost house, and Pooh and Piglet listened, and their eyes got bigger and bigger. Where did you say it was? Asked Pooh. Just here, said Eeyore. Made of sticks? Yes. Oh, said Piglet. What? Said Eeyore. I just said oh, said Piglet nervously, and so as to seem quite at ease, he hummed tiddly-pom once or twice in a what shall we do now kind of way. You're sure it was a house? Said Pooh. I mean, you're sure the house was just here? Of course I am, said Eeyore, and he murmured to himself, no brain at all, some of them. Why, what's the matter, Pooh? Asked Christopher Robin. Well, said Pooh, the fact is, said Pooh. Well, the fact is, said Pooh. You see, said Pooh, it's like this, said Pooh, and something seemed to tell him he wasn't explaining very well, and he nudged Piglet again. It's like this, Piglet said quickly. Only warmer, he added after deep thought. What's warmer? The other side of the wood where Eeyore's house is. My house, said Eeyore. My house was here. No, said Piglet firmly, the other side of the wood. Because of being warmer, said Pooh. But I ought to know. Come and look, said Piglet simply, and he led the way. There wouldn't be two houses, said Pooh, not so close together. They came round the corner, and there was Eeyore's house, looking as comfy as anything. There you are, said Piglet. Inside as well as outside, said Pooh. Eeyore went inside and came out again. It's a remarkable thing, he said. It is my house, and I built it where I said I did. So the wind must have blown it here, and the wind blew it right over the wood and blew it down here, and here it is as good as ever. In fact, better in places. Much better, said Pooh and Piglet together. It just shows what can be done by taking a little trouble, said Eeyore. Do you see, Pooh? Do you see, Piglet? Brains first and then hard work. Look at it. That's the way to build a house, said Eeyore proudly.
All right, we come to a special time of service when anybody who desires to do so can step forward and share any joys or concerns that they're feeling and they want to share with the rest of the congregation. I'll get started. Hey dudes, it's me again. Last night I attended a family cookout, and it's been a long time since I've attended a family cookout, since for a very long time my family here was mostly just me and my son and my mother, who didn't like to leave the house. But now I have a bigger family and an extended family of in-laws to do things with, and let me tell you, a cookout doesn't get better than a Hondureño style cookout.
My name's Arana Hagan, and I'd like to share a joy. Today is one of my favorite holidays. It isn't Groundhog Day. It's Candlemas. Candlemas, like Christmas, celebrates the birth of Christ. Candlemas celebrates the birth of light returning to the earth. So it's the day that the daylight hours get longer than the night hours. And it actually varies depending on where you live. But for the last 35 years, I've always celebrated it on February the 2nd. And I'm too old to change. So today is Candlemas. So the way you celebrate Candlemas is you light a candle.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Ken, and Mark is going to have a special birthday party for Fred next Saturday at 4 p.m. here at the building, and we'll be having pizza. And there are sign-up sheets for people to indicate what kind of pizza they want. Is that correct, Fred? Mark?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Next Saturday at 4 p.m.
And we'll also have a movie.
Have a movie too. Okay. We're going to resume our philosophy forums this afternoon at 3:30, and we'll take a cautious and respectful look at Australian Aboriginal culture before the Europeans influenced them, and try to learn about the similarities and the dissimilarities between us and them. And also, we're going to take a brief look at the tragic accident that took place in Washington, D.C. I've flown in and out of the airspace there at D.C. probably 15 or 20 times, and I'm familiar with it. And we're going to talk about the psychological and physical challenges that pilots and controllers have in situations like this. So come if you can, 3:30.
Hi, my name is Eric Gonzalez, and I've got a joy to share. Well, I guess it's a joy and a concern mixed into one. But yesterday I was in Lubbock attending the protest against mass deportations throughout the country, and a few cases that have happened regionally between here, Lubbock, a few other small towns. And I'm happy to say that in these troubling times, we had several hundred people show up to that protest. It was pretty massive, very inspiring. I heard it was the second largest in the last 2 or 3 years they've had in the entire city. And so, yeah, that happened in Lubbock. We have a few events coming up. There's a protest here in Amarillo. I still need to get the date and time, so I'm sorry, the exact time and place. I'll have that here pretty soon. But it'll be on President's Day on the 17th of February, so keep that date in mind. It will be in defense of our transgender community as well as several other groups altogether. But it will be put on by ATAG, the Amarillo Area Transgender Advocacy Group. So keep an eye out for details on that. Thank you.
There we go. I just wanted to say thank you to all of you who have been so kind to me over the last couple of months. So many of you have called or written notes or seen to it that I got out of the house and did something constructive. And I very much appreciate your friendship. Thank you so much.
We'll light a final long, skinny candle for the joys and concerns that are felt but not shared. We are with you. Estamos contigo. And now we've got our own Eric Berg to share a song with us today.
In addition, we have Rick Todd joining me.
Oh yeah, and there's Rick as well.
I'm going to do this like a roadie. Sweet. But wait.
He needed to experience that at least once in his
That's
career.
right, and that will probably be the last time, too. The way this strap is twisted up, I think Rick's going to have to experience being the roadie again. In full disclosure on this song, I've taken full credit for it, but I really should only take partial credit. When I heard when Chuck told me the topic and the title, I'm not even sure what the topic is. So I couldn't find in my playlist or online a song about a clown that would work. And I've not been sleeping well lately, but I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and this mashup of a Grateful Dead tune and my words came to me, and by 5 o'clock in the morning, I had written a song. That's pretty amazing for me. So, Clown. Say it takes a lot to win, even more to lose. You and me about to spend some time wondering what to choose. Goes to show you don't ever know. Sometimes a clown comes to town and steals the show. Don't you let that clown come round. Wait until that clown leaves town. Don't you let that clown come round, oh no. He's been clowning here about for 10 good solid years. If I told you all that went down, it'd burn off both your ears. Goes to show you don't ever know. Sometimes a clown comes to town and steals the show. Don't you let that clown come round. Wait until that clown leaves town. Don't you let that clown leave round, oh no. Since he packed the courts on us, hiding all the clues, he just left us sitting here singing word blues. Goes to show you don't ever know, the clown comes to town and steals the show. Don't you let that clown come round. Wait until that clown leaves town. Don't you let that clown come round, oh no. Don't you let that clown come round. 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 Don't you let that clown come round, oh no.
I sure dig it when they play.
Unlike your regular church music.
Yeah. All right, now we've got our next reading. Vicki's coming up to share.
I have 3 short poems this morning on community, and I decided to use all of them because they're all approached from such different standpoints. The first one is called Fences by Pat Morrow. Mouths full of laughter, the tourists came to the tall hotel with suitcases full of dollars. Every morning, my brother makes the cool beach new for them. With a wooden board, he smooths away all footprints. I peek through the cactus fence and watch the women rub oil sweeter than honey into their arms and legs, while their children jump waves or sip drinks from long straws, coconut white, mango yellow. Once my little sister ran barefoot across the hot sand for a taste. My mother roared like the ocean, "No, no, it's their beach, it's their beach." To be of use, Marge Piercy. The people I love the best jump into the work head first without dallying in the shallows and swim off with sure strokes almost out of sight. They seem to become native of that element, the black sleek heads of seals bouncing like half-submerged balls. I love people who harness themselves an ox to a heavy cart, who pull like water buffalo with massive patience, who strain in the mud and muck to move things forward, who do things that has to be done again and again. I want to be with people who submerge in the task, who go in the fields to harvest and work in a row and pass the bags along, who are not parlor generals or field deserters, but move in a common rhythm when the food must come in or the fire be put out. The work of the world is common as mud. Botched, it smears the hands, crumbles to dust. But the thing worth doing well has a shape that satisfies clean and evident. Greek amphoras for wine or oil, Hopi vases that held corn are put in museums, but you know they were made to be used. The pitcher cries for water to carry, and a person for work that is real. Keeping Quiet, Pablo Neruda. Now we will count to 12, and we will all keep still for once on the face of the earth. Let's not speak in any language. Let's not stop for a second, and not move our arms so much. It would be an exotic moment without rush, without engines. We would all be together in a sudden strangeness. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales, and the man gathering salt would look at his hurt hands. Those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, victories with no survivors, would put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers in the shade, doing nothing. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Life is what it's about. I want no truck with death. If we were not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving, and for once could do nothing, perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death. Perhaps the earth can teach us as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. Now I'll count up to 12, and you keep quiet, and I will go.
I think I saw somebody share something I thought was lovely a while back relating to the story for all ages, Pooh and friends and their adventures. And Eeyore, despite being Eeyore's grumpy, depressed self, nobody ever criticizes Eeyore for that or tries to change Eeyore. They just keep on inviting Eeyore along on the shenanigans. And I think that's cool. Now we come to a moment of silence during the service, and instead of bowing your heads, I would like you to lift your heads up, look around at each other. Whether you subscribe to a story of creation as described in Genesis, or you believe that life evolved gradually on this planet, the truth is we're all family, and we should treat each other as such. And now you can bow your head and think about that for a moment. Thank you, everybody. Welcome back. All right, now we get to the fun part of the service. Today we have with us the good Reverend Dr. Chuck Fisher. Chuck is a dear friend to the Texas Panhandle. He's a dear friend in every possible meaning of that term. He married my wife and I. He's helped us say goodbye to people we love. He's shared with us inspiring messages that made us want to take action. He's shared with us contemplative messages that made us look inward instead of blaming others. He's a dear friend with a strong background in this community. Co-founded Chalice Abbey, where you can also go and hear inspiring music and philosophical perspectives and purchase fair trade goods that are pretty cool. Great for Christmas. I can vouch. Welcome, Chuck. Thanks for being here.
Gee, after that stellar introduction, I kind of hate to say anything. It's all going to be downhill. But anyway, here's the deal. Sometimes, even though I know that almost all of the time it would be wise counsel to follow, I don't always listen to myself. This past month, it has been particularly difficult to listen to me. In a recent talk here at the UU and in a book study at Chalice Abbey, I have advocated for a punto de vista, a point of view of life that has been incarnated by Father Greg Boyle and his Homeboy Industries. The point of view is described in Boyle's book, Cherished Belonging, The Healing Power of Love in Divided Times. And I find what he says very compelling and convincing. Now, this is what he says. All of our vexing and complex social dilemmas would disappear if we embraced two principles. Everyone belongs, no exception. Everyone is unshakably good, no exceptions. A friend was reading who is also reading a book, was teaching a Bible study, and he shared with his group, I've been reading this book, and this is what it says, and everyone is unshakably good, everyone belongs. And the class response? Skepticism. Everyone? Everyone? And the class went to that age-old response, well, what about? What about Hitler? They're old folks in that class, so that's where that's where you go. And round they went with that. Well, what about Hitler? So that class echoed the problem that I've been struggling with especially this last month. Everyone belongs. Everyone is unshakably good. No exceptions. What about Hitler? So, for me, Hitler isn't a problem. Not really. He's a person of history. He has no power. No power today. My problem lies with a contemporary, a person alive, a person who does have power, and a man who is using that power to do evil. Unshakably good, belongs. What about him? Now, sometimes I wish there was such a thing as an HA group, Haters Anonymous. Hi, I'm Chuck, and I hate that miserable, wretched wreck of a man. Yeah, hate is such a strong word. Hate is such a strong word. And of course, I remember what Dr. King said, let no man pull you so low as to hate him. But in my head, I'm saying, but Dr. King, what about him? I don't want to hate anybody. I really don't. Boyle says of him, no one wakes up in the morning and says to himself, today I think I will try malignant narcissist with a side order of sociopathy. He didn't choose his illness, Boyle says. It chose him. This illness makes him worthy of our compassion. Unfit to be president, but worthy of compassion. Racism, misogyny, homophobia, anti-Semitism, xenophobia, the list is long. But these things are descriptors, not identifiers. He needs help and healing. That's what Boyle says. He needs help and he needs healing. I don't know. I just don't know about that. See, I play tenor sax in the Amarillo College Community Band. I'm the first chair tenor. Well, full disclosure, I'm the only tenor, so but I'm first chair. So we had this song we were playing. It's a really difficult piece. We're rehearsing, and the director stops us. He said, I didn't hear the tenor part. And in front of the whole band, I have to say, that section's too hard for me. I can't play it yet. Everybody is unshakably good. Everyone belongs. No exceptions. He needs help and healing. I haven't mastered that tune yet. I'm not there yet. Now, to my self-administered credit, I have moved past he's the spawn of Satan. I've gotten past there, see that? Progress. But fully embracing good, belongs, no exceptions, with him I struggle. I continue to try. And I continue to try because, again, I do not want to be someone who allows someone else to pull me so low as to hate him. So here's where I am now. This is my self-talk. This is what I'm saying to myself in these circumstances. I will not say he is evil, nor a racist, nor a misogynist, nor a homophobe, nor an anti-Semite, nor a xenophobe. Those manifestations and those behaviors describe him. They describe his behavior. He is unshakably good, as is everyone. He belongs, as does everyone. I will say his behavior demonstrates he needs healing. No one who is whole behaves like that. No one who is healthy behaves like that. Now, I'm saying these things because I'm convinced that how we look at the world, how we think that it is, it leads us to behave in the ways that we behave, particularly the way we think about our fellow human beings. It determines the life that we live. And I believe that the point of view that I've been talking about is an invitation to wholeness and belonging. I'm invited, everyone is invited to that point of view. So, and obviously this is in my imagination, rather than call him out for the vile behavior, I invite him in to wholeness and belonging. Now, I know even in my imagination, it's difficult to think that from what we know of him, from his behavior, he probably can't even accept an offer of healing, even if he could recognize it. He's probably so deep into his illness, he'll never see. But I can try. Now, I'm talking about something I can do. Not only do I not want to hate, I don't want to be angry. I don't like myself when I'm angry. And not only do I not like myself when I'm angry, I don't think it's a very effective way of dealing with situations. Most of the time when I've gotten angry about something, it's gotten worse. So, moving beyond imagination, when speaking to others of him, and when I'm writing my wise missives in the Facebook posts, when I'm giving talks like this and leading book studies, I can point to the harm that he is doing. I can call that out. But at the same time, I can invite him into wholeness and into belonging. My hope is that by not demonizing and not dehumanizing him, instead saying no one whole or healthy thinks or behaves that way, his followers will overhear and see that good and belonging is how we are and how we are meant to be. Invite him in, invite them in. Now, as fate would have it, an example of what I'm talking about recently appeared. You probably saw or at least read about what Episcopal Bishop Buddy did in her sermon. Contrary to what some people think, Bishop Buddy didn't call him out. She invited him in. I don't think she expected him to change or to accept the invitation, but I do think that what she wanted to do was have his followers hear the invitation. Let me make one final plea, Mr. President. Millions have put their trust in you, and as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy on the people in our country who are scared now. And she ended that plea by saying, our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we were all strangers in this land. May God grant us the strength and courage to honor the dignity of every human being, to speak the truth to one another in love, and to walk humbly with each other and our God, for the good of all people, the good of all people in the nation and the world. Amen. For the good of all people, the good of all people in this world and the nation. Invite them in. I believe this is about our point of view. Everyone belongs. Everyone is unshakably good. Invite those that we think of as other in. Even a clown with a flamethrower.
I knew the message was going to be an important one, but it didn't stop us all from giggling uncontrollably when we saw the title of today's. All right, now comes the time when we give of our financial resources to help keep this going, to help keep the doors open. You can give online on our website, uuamarillo.org. You can scan the QR code. That'll take you to PayPal. Or you can just throw some money in the basket the good old-fashioned way. Pass the plate around. I guess don't need to keep everybody waiting. We've got potluck going on after service. It's pretty much the only reason why I'm here, really. It's people find out what my philosophical beliefs are, and they're like, "Well, why do you go to church?" I'm like, "For the potlucks." That's really it. But yeah, feel free to join us, even if all you brought is your appetite. You're welcome. We have lots of stuff always going on here. Amarillo Free Thought Society, second and fourth Sunday, 2 p.m. And adult religious education is going on at 10 a.m. before service every day over there in the education room. At the same time, we have Knowledge Seekers that happens right here before service, where we watch nerdy videos and then have nerdy discussion afterward. Book Club, fourth Tuesday of every month. Dick Mosley facilitates that group and always picks an interesting book to read and then discuss. You all know how book clubs work, and one of these days I'm going to join. Beyond Belief Secular AA Recovery Group, very important work that's being done here, and they meet every Saturday at 6 p.m. Existential Exclamations, Ken got up, let us know what's happening today, and so that'll be this afternoon at 3:30 p.m. And our oldest covenant group here is Nothing Much Buddhist group. It's a private Facebook group, so you can't really join on your own, but I'm a member of the group. There's a couple people here who are members of the group, so if you just like friend one of us up and you want to get in on the Buddhist group action, we can make you a member of the Facebook group where they share the links to the Zoom meetings that take place on Monday evenings. And yeah.
And if you're not on Facebook, we also have an email list that goes out.
There you go. An email list as well that you can become part of. So just let somebody know. Yeah. Oh, and Eric has an announcement as well, because I'm done. That's cool.
Just wanted to say for the Free Thought Society, it's not this week. Next week will be the second Sunday of the month. Topic for next week is going to be Christian secularism and its history within the United States, because the two are not mutually exclusive. So if you're interested, we'd love to have you.
Yeah. Sweet. Upcoming services, we have Attorney Ryan Brown, who's going to be here next week to talk about the Ten Commandments at Amarillo City Hall. And yeah, whatever. February 16th, Shauna Rose and Jacob Breeden are going to, they're from the Unity Project, and they're going to be talking about efforts for AISD non-readers. February 23rd, we have James Campos to talk about the Amarillo Lions Club, Hispanic Lions Club. The whole title is what that is. Okay. So now we will extinguish the chalice, and let me refer to my cheat notes for something cool to say. This is the message of our faith: to act with passion in the face of injustice, to love with courage in the midst of life's pain. This is the meaning of our chalice flame. May it empower our hearts until we come again together. Please stand in body or spirit. Fellowship this hour touch and move our lives until we come again together. Take care, y'all.